up guys, it's Ryan and you're watching Ryan Vision. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more. Everything that's been done to this Jeep has been covered in a video, and everything that's going to get done in the future will be covered as well. So make sure you subscribe, that way you don't miss out on anything. Also make sure you check out projectzj.com. It's a collection of all the YouTube videos of just the Jeep, just Project ZJ, no guns, no aquariums, nothing like that. So make sure you check that out. You can see the hood's up again. Last time I was talking to you about the cooling system. That's doing great. Most of what I'm going to cover today has to do with an exhaust leak, which had to do with my exhaust manifold and a blown gasket. So I'm going to cover that right now. Let's get into it. I'm driving back from the good weekend and I'm just pissed off because my Jeep sounds like a lawnmower, you know, and I hate that. I know there's plenty of you guys like me where you can't stand rattles, you can't stand exhaust leaks. I mean, for me, an exhaust leak makes me feel like I'm driving the biggest piece of shit on the road. It might as well have 5 horsepower. Because unless I just hear a nice clean V8 rumble, I'm pissed. You know, this lawnmower or tractor tapping sound coming out of the hood every time I get on the gas, it just drives me nuts. So I pulled the heat shield off just so I could get a look, and when I pulled that heat shield off, I realized that bolt where the washer is, or that nut where the washer is, it's actually a long stud. And so it tightens to the heat shield, but then behind that heat shield you can't see there's another nut, or actually it's more like a bolt on the stud that tightens the manifold to the cylinder head. And so I realized, you know what, I need to get this heat shield out of my way so I can make sure that bolt's tight. And while I was at it, you can see that front bolt kind of lonely all by itself. I got a wrench on that and it tightened, so I was like, oh man, these things are loose. Maybe I'm gonna luck out and they're just loose. I'll snug them up, good to go. Well, it wasn't the case. I got the heat shield off, I snugged up the stud, I snugged up the bolt in the front there, and started up, and it was still leaking. And then I put my hand down in there by that spark plug, and I could actually feel hot air blowing on my hand. That's how bad the leak was. So then I got looking, and obviously you can't see it now because it's been fixed, but I got looking and I'm like, you know what, it looks like the gasket is actually blown out. There was like a fresh piece I could see where it looked like it had just been torn. So I took it to All Muffler in Rockland, California on Pacific Street. I'll put their info up. Mark owns the shop over there. Mike's great too. He's always there working on stuff. They've worked on this Jeep a few times. They did the catalytic converter. They did my turn down, which I'll show you. This is new as of today. So, you know, I'm just running a cat, no muffler right now. And they put a turn down just so I'm not blowing exhaust and heating up this beautiful iron Rock Offroad rear subframe for the long arms. But anyways, they did my catalytic converter, my turn down. They also cut off my short arm mounts in the front. So they're no strangers to this Jeep. They worked on my 350Z. I took it over to them and I said, hey, look, you know, this thing's leaking real bad. Can you trace it out for me? So Mark and Mike both come out. They hear me come into the parking lot. They both come out, and Mark's got a rubber hose in his ear, and he starts listening around the motor, and right away tracks it down to this front section. That's why I just kind of been focusing on this. Tracks it down to this front section here, then goes over to the other side, listens to it, and says, no, it's just the front passenger side. So, you know, we start talking about price and what needs to happen, and basically said, you know, I need to pull that whole manifold off and clean everything up, get all the old gasket material off, make sure the manifold's not warped, you know, get it on the table and check it out, make sure it's true and straight and all that. And then we're going to glass bead it so we can make sure there's no cracks in the welds, and if there are, you know, we can weld it as long as it's straight and everything like that. So obviously just really knew what he was talking about, done it probably a million times, so I felt really good, you know, just leaving the Jeep with him and saying get it done. Plus the price was really reasonable for the job, because I mean, this would take me probably twice as long as it would take them, and he told me when it was done that it really was a two-man job. They had one guy under while the other guy was on top, you know, holding it so that the bolts would come out easier, things like that. So they did a great job. They did exactly what they said they did. They got it off, they cleaned the gasket. You can see it's all glass beaded, looks like a brand new manifold. I know it's probably kind of hard to see back here, but this front section, you can see how it looks brand new. And then they put all new hardware in, so they didn't have to worry about it breaking. So all new studs, all new bolts, you know, and that's actually a big chunk of the price. If you call a dealership and price those out, you'll understand what I mean. It's like 13 bucks for the studs, for each stud, and like $3 or $4 for the bolts. So all new hardware. My original manifold completely reconditioned. It wasn't warped, so that's great. And then a brand new gasket going across. And people have been telling me that I guess the 5.2 doesn't come with gaskets from the factory. It's just metal on metal. Mine does have gaskets on both sides, but I bought this thing with, I want to say 150,000 miles or something like that. So obviously it might have had a leak in the past and somebody put gaskets on. But anyways, guys, it's completely silent now. No ticking. All you hear is that nice V8 rumble. So I feel like I've got some horsepower again. I'm not embarrassed to drive this thing around. So I'm just really happy right now. But I think that's about it for today, guys. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think it's just because I'm so happy that I'm not overheating anymore. I can run my AC. I don't have to worry about it. And I don't have an exhaust leak anymore. So I'll keep you posted as the project continues. And again, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe for more, and if you haven't already, check out projectzj.com. All right, guys, have a good one. See ya.